I remember, as many had foreseen, a great evil descending on Midgard. Those that once knew peace, now knew only war. With our homes destroyed, hope, faith, Midgard was lost.
My name's Mark O'Connell and I'm the online marketing manager at the Creative Assembly. Okay, so our story begins with Hel. She gets banished to the underworld, and in revenge she raises up this army of undead Viking warriors, and they in turn capture the entire mortal realm of Midgard. So Odin, who's the lord of all the gods, he appoints Freya to pick a Viking as her champion to liberate all of Midgard. So she chooses Skyrim, because the first time we meet him, he's been suffering with these terrible visions of Ragnarok, which is the end of the world, and because of this he actually dies. So Freya resurrects him and appoints him the task of liberating all of Midgard. So as the story begins, we find him in his hometown of Brighthelm. And you haven't got any men, you've got no army at this point, so you have to go and liberate all the different areas of the island and build up your army so you can fight Hel's forces.
Well, the liberation of your army plays a major role in the game. How do you do that? Do you just walk to them and say, hey, come with me? Or
so what's happened is all of your men have been captured for the most part, and they could be locked in cages or tied up or just be scattered on a beach, and they're normally heavily guarded. So you have to try and find the best approach of getting in there and liberating your men, and then they'll come out, and once you release them, they'll help you clear that area too. And they'll go off by themselves and they'll find any patrol routes and they'll defeat them. So that's how you find the men and you build up your army.
Can approach them on a few different ways, right? With stealth and battle. So how does the stealth part in the game works?
Okay, so in any given situation, you've got the choice. You can either run in there with your sword and your axe, or you can be a bit more stealthy about it, and when you get to a new area you can scout it out, and then you can find the best approach to get in there. So it's possible in many situations to infiltrate an enemy camp without being seen, or to pick the enemies off one by one, so you've got less chance of being outnumbered. And also there's hornblowers on the Legion side, and if they see you they'll call all the men in, so you want to try and look for them and take them out first, otherwise they could blow your cover.
Right, one of the big features of Viking are the huge battles with hundreds of people fighting around. Yeah, that isn't just hack and slash. You got a lot more strategic elements in that. Can you elaborate on that part?
Yeah, so in any battle you've got thousands of men, the enemy's got thousands of men, but they have an advantage because they've got champions on the battlefield. These are huge guys, they're very heavily armoured, and they've got a sword that's bigger than you are, so if they swing it, they're going to take out a lot of men at once, and your army's got no chance of defeating them. So on the battlefield, that's someone you're going to want to look out for and try and take them out as early as possible, because they'll do your men a lot of damage. Also, you've got shamans. So every time you kill an enemy, they go to the underworld, but the shaman's resurrecting them again. So you're facing an almost limitless army until you can defeat these shamans. And then as the battles progress, you've got more challenges and objectives to face. But you also get dragon strikes, in which you can take out key strategic areas of the battlefield.
Yeah, the dragon strikes look really cool. We just saw a few. But you can't use them unlimitedly. How do you get the strikes?
Okay, so they're very much a reward. We don't want it to be that the player just obliterates the whole battlefield in 2 seconds. So what you have to do, there's key characters on the battlefield. When you defeat them, you'll be awarded different amounts of tokens. And also you get them for killing the shamans too. So then when you bring up the map and you've got these different areas that you want to focus on, if you want to take some archers out, that may only cost 1 dragon token, or taking a shaman out could be 2. So the player always has choices what they want to spend them on at different points of the game.
Yeah, in Viking you get a whole free world of 3 major islands. Yep. And can you just walk around and do exactly what you want, or do you sometimes have a time limit on the missions, or do you need to do the mission in set order? What's your freedom like?
Okay, so there's no time limits. We don't want the player to be limited. We want them to have the chance to explore the island fully. You have key missions that you start the game with, but they get updated and you constantly get new quests and missions, and you can do them in any order. The smallest island is over 1 kilometre square, and that doesn't include the fact that there's mountains to traverse up and different caves to explore and woods and things. So there's huge areas, but in addition to this, we've added ley stones. So the player, once they've discovered these ley stones, they can instantly teleport to different parts of the island. So they're doing a quest that requires them to go to different locations. They don't have to do a lot of legwork to get there.
Games set to be released on the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3. Can we expect just the same game graphic-wise on both platforms?
Yeah, absolutely. They're very, very similar.
And any online features, or is it just mainly a single-player game?
It's completely a single-player experience. We explored doing multiplayer, but because we've got a very rich storyline and it's really about Hel and Freya and how Scarron's caught between them, we didn't want to just throw in extra characters for the sake of it. We could have had a big guy with an axe and a woman with a bow and arrow, or a magician or something, but they wouldn't have fit into the storyline. So we want to make it very rich, very deep single-player experience.
Well, the Creative Assembly is primarily known for the strategic games on the PC. Why did you make the change to more kind of action game on the consoles?
The Norse mythology was something that really interested us, and we felt that the consoles were the best way of doing that. It's primarily an action adventure game, and we thought that'd be a good fit for the Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 3.
A warrior who could inspire an army to fight.